Hey, cool cats and kittens.
This is Carole Baskin.
No. Oh my gosh. On this week's episode, we're going to talk about the Tiger King. And Picard.
Okay, let's
boy.
start this week's episode. And any news this week we need to
I think it's more of the same.
address? Coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
Still out there.
Yeah.
And Sony moved like a lot of its summer movies, so this summer's gonna be pretty weak. Even if, let's say, we open doors to go back to normal tomorrow, everything was rescheduled for the second semester, the end of the year, even next year. So yeah, they just announced what Sony announced: Top Gun for December 23rd. Ghostbusters moved. There's a couple more. Yeah.
Cool.
What else? Anything?
I honestly can't think of anything. Especially when you're sitting next to me in that amazing leopard print.
With coronavirus keeping people at home, there's this worldwide phenomenon that's taking the world by the paw. And
I see what you did there.
Netflix Tiger King.
Holy cow.
Well, before I talk about that, and we're going to talk about 2 shows tonight. Tiger King from Netflix and Picard from CBS All Access. One from Netflix that I believe a lot of people have access to. And CBS Access that maybe some people might not have access to, but CBS is offering 3 months for everybody. Patrick Stewart was the one that announced offer this. So Picard just ended the first season last week, so you can watch the entire season.
As well as both seasons, right, of Discovery.
The all the original shows like
yeah, that's right, all the
Twilight
Star Trek
Zone.
series. Oh yeah.
Original shows from
CBS.
Yeah, and that show with the lady from The Good Wife, which I think is called The Good Fight, is a spin-off. Anyways, you can watch all that. Before we go through the shows we watched this week, spoiler alert. We're gonna
spoil it, because we're going to talk about it. And we can't say anything worthwhile without spoiling it.
Now that we can start, we're going to talk about Tiger King.
This whole documentary, it can be summed up, I think, with the 3 letters WTF. Or H, or whatever.
What the fun.
Yeah. What the actual heck. It kept getting weirder and crazier. Like, it starts off pretty crazy. Like,
it does.
Here's this guy in Oklahoma who has a little farm by the side of or zoo by the side of the road with 200 plus tigers at any given point. That's pretty crazy right there. We could stop there.
It's only 200?
Well, I
thought it was more like around the thousands.
No.
No? Okay.
That's like the whole country.
Because he keeps breeding and selling it all the time, so. Maybe one day, it's like counting all of those, maybe he had close to 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tiger King, Murder, Mayhem, and Madness, is that?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's available on Netflix. It's 6 episodes? 10 episodes? 10 episodes.
I think it was 10.
Yeah.
It felt like 10.
Documentary mini-series.
Yep.
And it starts talking about this guy called Joe. An average Joe? No, an exotic Joe.
Joe Exotic. Like, that's literally his name.
His name, yes.
That he picked for himself. He named himself Exotic.
And he is exactly what the name announces. He's very exotic.
He is a gay redneck tiger breeder, polygamous.
He likes guns, which is no problem with that.
I always said he's a redneck.
But Is that implicit?
I thought so.
Okay, I don't know.
I should stop making fun of people. It's not nice.
Anyways.
Lots of guns.
Yeah. So the show starts talking about this guy and his zoo, GW Zoo in Winnipeg,
Oklahoma.
Yeah. It's not Winnipeg. It's yeah. Joe is very exotic. He wears like very, how can I call this? Very
flamboyant, but like flamboyant redneck.
Yeah, flamboyant shirts.
Yeah.
He has
lots of fringe, lots of animal print.
He has highlights.
Yes.
His
mullet has been bleached.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a mullet. Although, yeah, usually covered up with a baseball hat.
Yes.
Lots of piercings.
And,
tattoos.
And he loves animals. He started loving animals because of a trauma. He moved to some friend recovering for the trauma, and the friend worked with animals, and he fell in love with the animals and started, buying, raising animals.
But not just any animal, and not just any cat. Wild cats.
Big cats.
Big cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's the main character.
Parallel to that. We have three main characters. The show in the beginning, the show talks a lot about people. They are into this business or lifestyle of raising cats, protecting cats. Some will claim they protect cats, using cats on zoos or for baby cats for people to go take pictures. Entertainment use of cats. That some will consider, what's the word?
Abusive.
Yeah. And they talk about that too.
Yeah, so we start with Joe Exotic. And then enters Carole Baskin. From whom we get the priceless tagline, "Hey, you cool cats and kittens."
Who apparently is an internet phenomenon. She has a lot of followers.
Yeah, so she's like kind of on the other side of this. So Joe Exotic has this very commercial-oriented zoo with lots of he breeds tigers like crazy, so he's always got cubs for photo ops and for people to pet and things like that, and that's how he earns money for his zoo. And then we've got Carole Baskin, who is a big cat. She runs a sanctuary that's audited and accredited and all the rest.
Allegedly.
Well, anyway, she runs a sanctuary, so she's more on the rescue side, and she and Joe have become absolute arch enemies. It's just, I didn't realize that human beings could have arch enemies like this outside of comic books or epic sagas, because she's wanting to take down Joe Exotic, and so he decides to take her down, and it's just, wow.
And thousands of miles away from each other.
Yeah, he's in Florida.
Oklahoma. She's in Oklahoma.
And
but they have this internet feud.
Death threats.
Yeah.
He wrote a country song about how she fed her husband to a tiger and got away with it.
Yeah,
and then made a music video. Yeah, featuring a doppelganger.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You can't make this stuff up. And that's why I recommend you watch it, because every episode we just feel oh, okay, this is a cool storyline to follow through to the end. Nope, they kept adding new stuff.
More and more, and
that oh, by the way, Joe Exotic had not one but two husbands. Neither of whom were actually gay. What?
We should go back to it. They talked to other cat people, other tiger trainers.
Yes, Bhagavan
Doc Antle, yeah.
Yes.
And who seems to have more money to set up a more organized set, but he recruits, he lures young, pretty girls.
And by young, I mean teenage, so super sketch.
That, among other things, changed their names.
Kind of like he did. He was not born Bhagavan.
And they go live with him, and apparently have to do him sexual favors to grow in the crew and the staff.
Yep.
Yeah, it's sort
So-
of a cult. But
Yeah.
all the people that work for these three main characters are in some sort of a cult, like a relationship. The people that follow Joe, they are very Joe-like. They are seduced by his, these things, his way,
I don't understand.
or even
it.
his cats. The people
That seems to be a big thing. Like it's not always like Joe or Bhagavan. It's like how badly these people want to be with.
yes,
Be with
yeah,
the tigers
exactly. Is
and
the
the
animal?
lions, but mostly the tigers.
But same thing with Carole. The people that follow her are seduced by the idea of saving animals, to the point that they spend money to be trained by her to, work for her for free on her zoo and take care of animals and code save animals. So you have these three main characters and you go back and forth. In the beginning, we learn a lot about Joe, and we learn a little bit about Carole, and then we think, oh, Carole is the good guy in this story. She's trying to fight this guy that is using and abusing animals.
Mm-hmm.
But the show goes on a little, and then we start learning about Carole. That
She maybe has a, shall we say, complicated past.
she had a millionaire husband that poof disappeared.
But before he disappeared, he got a restraining order, or he tried to get a restraining order against her, and just a lot of other sketchy and suspicious things were happening before he disappeared. She says that it was like Alzheimer's or dementia that were causing his problems. I don't know. I kind of like to think that he disappeared to Costa Rica.
But it doesn't it doesn't add up, because sure, that's a good idea. That's something it's like, okay, I'm gonna go there and live there. But she kept the money.
And it was a lot of money.
And there's people that claim, including Joe Exotic, that she fed him to the tigers.
Or that he's buried under the septic tank.
Oh yeah.
At the Big Cat Rescue.
Yeah.
So,
Either way, it's like bizarre. So out of the blue, she was already bizarre. Like her house is entire full of cats.
yes.
The walls are cats. The carpet is cats. She wear cats. Yeah.
Oh, fun irony though. She's allergic to cats.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
Oh man, that's gotta be rough.
So Joe claims that she was already bizarre, but then comes this. It's like, oh, okay. Anyways, so there's this, and she remarried, and she treats the new husband with like a leash, like a cat. Anyways, there's so many bizarre things about her, as about Joe and about Doc Anto, and the show is really. I thought it was really well done, because if you don't know the character, and he's known. I mean, all characters, they are known because they've been online and do stuff online. They have those zoos, and they've been to TV.
Yeah, they're featured on the local news quite a bit. They've made it to national news a few times.
And
when Joe Exotic ran for governor of Oklahoma.
Oh, when he ran for president of the United States. But so we learn about, if you don't know the characters, or if you don't remember, I actually saw something featuring Joe back when he was running for president on national TV, SNL, or Comedy Central.
What's his name? John Oliver?
Yeah, Comedy Central. But I think I saw on SNL when that popped up. I was like, Anyways, so if you don't know the character, the way they expose the characters on the show is really well done. The guy did this long work with them throughout the years. Joe had a TV on his compound, and he had a reality show, people working for him 24/7.
Yeah.
So apparently there's a lot to know about them. But on the documentary, the guy gives information on each chapter that it builds. It's almost like fiction. He wrote the documentary in a way that
He's really telling the story. Like
he's telling the story.
Like it's a true story, but he uses some of those.
But he doesn't give you all
more
at
storytelling
once.
elements. Yeah.
He gives you like very very specific according to the subject of the chapter, specific doses to the point that we had no idea that he's married. Joe Exotic is married to two guys. And that apparently in the beginning, we thought they were gay, and they were not.
Yeah. So first I didn't realize that he was gay, and then we find out that he's gay, and that he's married, and that he's not married to not one but two guys, and then that neither of them are actually gay, and what a journey.
But they were
what a journey.
They were seduced to his cult-like life. Because of cats and drugs.
Drugs, guns, tigers.
Yeah.
It was irresistible,
Power,
I guess.
money, drugs, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting.
Holy
It's
cow.
hilarious at some moments. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
It's bizarre.
A lot of memes have come from this.
Yeah.
A lot of references.
Yeah. I'm never going to recover financially from this.
I almost felt bad laughing at some points. Like, oh, this should be really sad. Like, this is real. But oh my gosh, guys, like it's so funny sometimes. So funny.
And it's quite sad, especially for some of the people that work for these people, because there's a guy that works as a trainer that lost both his legs, and he was really attached to the animals. But because Joe...
He did not lose his legs to the tigers.
Oh yeah.
Just FYI.
But because Joe got involved with some very sketchy people that basically took the zoo from him and sent him to jail for a lot of like murder, conspiracy. Yeah. This guy ended up leaving the zoo, and he misses the animals. He knew all of them by name and stuff like that. That's kind of sad. But everybody else is so crazy that it's like before you feel sad, you want to laugh.
It's unbelievable. Like how could that even be real? It just blows my mind. Yeah. But there it is. We live in a time and in a country with a tiger king.
Yeah. Yeah. And like his tigers, he's behind bars. Yes. But enough of tigers. Let's talk about Starfleet.
Yeah. Okay, so thanks to CBS All Access being actually accessible and free to everyone for a month. Thank you, CBS. We got to watch Picard. We binged the whole... Was it 10 episodes?
10 episodes.
Yeah. It's 10 episodes, so short season. I'm a big fan of that. I like just short, concise. I think 10 episodes is a good length to tell a good story without any weird filler. Yeah. No filler, no stretching, just a good story. And I loved it. As you may or may not have ascertained, I've been a pretty devoted Star Trek fan from like early childhood. So I came into this with ready to judge and with a lot of expectations, and I was delighted.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
It was very different. It was not what they claimed it would be in the beginning. I mean, before the show premiered, they said Picard would go back to the academy to train new people, and they said the opposite. He actually left Starfleet because ideological differences.
Yeah, and I think that was the fundamental strength of the show. So, I'm enjoying Discovery. I love the J.J. Abrams movies, but they have this fatal flaw, which is they are going back and redoing and redesigning and rehashing characters and timelines and everything else that we've already done. And the essence of Star Trek is where no man has gone before, right? Picard actually, like the series, actually goes where Star Trek hasn't gone before. We get really in depth into the Romulan culture, which that alone was very cool. Kind of like how Deep Space Nine, we get really into Klingons, and Enterprise we get really into Vulcans. This one we get really into Romulans. Fantastic. We also get to see the Star Trek universe outside of Starfleet, which hasn't been done at all. Star Trek and Starfleet, like it's one and the same. and I loved that. I thought that gave the show a lot of strengths. It really made it worth watching and gave the writers a lot of room to explore and develop things that hadn't been done before.
Yeah.
And they did a great job.
They don't have to follow rules or directives since they're not Starfleet. And
they get to take like a beloved character and actually like do something, like actually tell a story worth telling with him because, well, yeah.
And they do something, as you said, they go where they never been gone before. But at the same time, they use the retcon element that they apparently this been going on for thousands of years. Story, this threat is being the Romulans fear for like a millennium, and they play on that. So there's people. This is going on behind the scenes, or at least or somewhere else other than the main stage of the movies and TV shows, and they work on that. Which you might not like retcons, but I guess it worked.
I don't know if this was a true retcon though, because like we'd never touched that. We'd never gotten that into. We've never been so closely enough involved with Romulans for any kind of Romulan motive to matter beyond them being anti-Federation.
But that's what retcon is actually it's a retroactive continuity. It's when continuity you works towards the future, and when you retcon you works toward the past to connect. And sometimes you do a lot of times actually do a sloppy job because they say, "Hey, remember that kid on Iron Man 2? That was actually Spider-Man." It's like, come on, there was never the intention. But I guess when you work in continuity backwards, you can do that. Sometimes it works, like in the show works. But
it works because they basically just said like, "Oh, by the way, there's this other group of Romulans." And the Romulans have this like deep-seated mythology and fear and absolute loathing for synthetic life.
And they are infiltrated on the Starfleet, and they've been to the Next Generation season 2. They've been to the movies and all the stuff.
So the show starts out with Picard at Chateau Picard, his vineyards, growing everything, and he's got. And as the show goes on, we find out that Picard had ended his career with Starfleet when he found out about the supernova that was going to take out the Romulan homeworld and just cost trillions of lives. And so he was an advocate for rescuing and relocating as many Romulans as they could. He did rescue millions of people and gave them a shot at a new life. In the meantime...
And that I like, because, when you have a little bit of backstory, that, it doesn't start right immediately after the Next Generation would not make sense. It has, 20 years in between? Something like that.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah. And it's decently well done, because Picard is, even after so long, he's still Picard, Meanwhile, between the two shows, he didn't exile himself in an island and became this grumpy old man.
Right. He's not a cranky old man.
Continuity is respected. He was Picard, with his tiny little problems with his great qualities, and he still had those, and that's why moves the show.
It does. Yeah, that's a good point. Anyway, so in the meantime, the other major theme in this show is this whole debate over synthetic life. Love this because this plays on huge themes from the Next Generation show and the big event, defining event at the end of Nemesis when Data dies. So, of course, since Data's death and everything, scientists at the Daystrom Institute have been trying to figure out Dr. Soon's work and recreate positronic technology and androids and all the rest, and they've got these really low quality synthetic droids that are working. Anyway, at one point some droids go rogue and destroy basically Mars and kill a whole bunch of people, and it's terrible. And so then all synthetic life of any kind whatsoever is banned in the Federation, and that sort of sets the stage for Picard's great in what seems to be final mission, but then maybe not. I don't know.
Nah, he recruits this new band of...
a motley crew.
Yeah, this band of very interesting characters.
Yep.
Really well cast characters that goes in this ship. There's like a lot like... I feel it was a lot like Firefly. Like
Oh, yeah.
They all
Strong
together
Firefly
with different motifs, different
Yeah.
motivations, but they get together.
Different baggage.
But they get together for one big purpose: save the galaxy.
Yeah, save the galaxy. And this, I think, again, another huge strength of the show. It's still so Star Trek, and they have these pure and noble motives. They've got to save this girl, Soji. They've got to save, synthetic life. They've got to save the galaxy. But then it's also very different. This isn't crisp, regulated, clean-cut Starfleet, which I love. This is this motley crew of like misfits and oddballs, going out to rescue. So it's true Star Trek. We have Picard making his speeches and the deep philosophies and everything else. But it's also new because it's like dirty and dusty and yeah, all the rest.
Yeah.
Really fun. We're running out of time, but you've got to watch this show. If you love Star Trek, this one is worth watching. You won't be disappointed.
No, it's good. It's fun. Short, straight to the point, fun, great characters, great cast. And more will come. They're talking about second season.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I guess that's it. CBS All Access, Picard, Netflix, Tiger King. That's it for this week.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think that's plenty. That should keep you all busy until our next episode.
Yes.
All you cool cats and kittens.
Yeah, you Trekkies out there.
Yes.
May the force be with you.
Jill on True, which is actually hello in Romulan, but Jill on True and live long and prosper.
Bye.